Leonardo da Vinci was born on April 15, 1452. His birthplace was Vinci, a small town in Italy. This town gave him the famous name we know today. His father was a lawyer, and his mother was a local woman. Leonardo was not their legitimate child, which caused him trouble during his early life. Both parents married other people after he was born, and he spent most of his childhood living with his grandfather's family in Vinci. Not much is known about Leonardo's early years, but it is clear that he showed talent from a young age. He learned basic reading, writing, and math. Even though he did not receive formal education, his creative skills were noticed early. His drawing and curiosity made him stand out among others. By 1457, Leonardo was living with his grandfather. He likely helped his mother with work while he explored his interests in art and learning. Leonardo's family was not wealthy or important. However, his natural talents gave him opportunities to rise above his humble beginnings and achieve greatness. His interest in nature and art began when he was a child. These early experiences shaped the way he saw the world and influenced his later works. This chapter looks at how Leonardo's early life set the stage for his amazing career as an artist, scientist, and thinker. In the mid-1460s, Leonardo moved to Florence, a famous city in Italy. At that time, Florence was a center for art, learning, and Christian culture. He became an apprentice at the studio of Andrea del Verrocchio, one of the most respected artists of the time. Leonardo started working there as a teenager. An apprentice is someone who learns a skill from a master. Leonardo worked on painting and sculpting, learning techniques that would shape his later works. One of his early projects was helping Verrocchio with the baptism of Christ. Leonardo painted an angel in the work, and his talent amazed everyone. It is said that Verrocchio was so impressed with Leonardo's skills that he decided to stop painting and let Leonardo take over future projects. During this time, Leonardo also worked with other famous artists, including Botticelli and Ghirlandaio. This gave him more experience in art and design. By the time Leonardo was 20, he had become a master in the Guild of St. Luke, an important group of artists. This allowed him to work on his own. His first independent work was a pen and ink drawing of the Arno Valley in 1473. It showed his skill in combining natural details with artistic style. This early period gave Leonardo a strong foundation. It prepared him for the amazing art and inventions he would create in the years to come. Leonardo is best known for his incredible art. Among his masterpieces are The Last Supper, Mona Lisa, and Vitruvian Man. These works changed art forever. The Last Supper was made between 1495 and 1498 for the Duke of Milan. It shows the moment when Jesus tells his followers that one of them will betray him. This painting is admired for the way it captures emotion. Leonardo used facial expressions and body language to show the feelings of each person at the table. The Last Supper was a difficult project. Leonardo experimented with a new painting method, but the work started to fade soon after it was completed. Even though it has been damaged, the painting remains one of the most studied and copied artworks in history. It is a symbol of Leonardo's genius. Another famous work by Leonardo is Vitruvian Man. It was drawn in 1490 and shows a man's body in perfect balance, connecting art and science. Vitruvian Man explains how the human body is linked to nature. This drawing is still used as a symbol of harmony and the relationship between people and the world. Perhaps the most famous of all is Mona Lisa. This painting is known worldwide for the mysterious smile of the woman and Leonardo's unique painting style. He used a technique called sfumato to blend colors smoothly, making the image look soft and lifelike. This style added depth and realism to his work. People have many ideas about the identity of the woman in Mona Lisa. Some say it is Lisa del Giocondo, the wife of a wealthy silk merchant from Florence. Others believe the painting is a symbol of beauty or even a self-portrait of Leonardo. It is still debated today, adding to the painting's mystery. Each of these masterpieces shows Leonardo's skill as an artist. His art combines deep emotion, careful detail, and a love of discovery. Leonardo's art inspires people even now. His paintings and drawings remind us how art can express both beauty and knowledge in ways no words ever could. These works made him one of the most respected artists of all time, and his influence on art and culture remains strong centuries after his death. This chapter shows how Leonardo's masterpieces are not just art. They are windows into the mind of a genius who changed the world. Leonardo da Vinci was not only an artist, but also a great inventor and scientist. He had a curious mind and wanted to understand how the world worked. He made sketches and plans for many machines, some of which were far ahead of his time. His ideas included a flying machine, a war tank, and a giant crossbow. While most of his designs were never built, they showed how Leonardo's imagination and creativity could solve problems and dream of new possibilities. Leonardo was fascinated by flight. He carefully studied birds to understand how they fly. In 1505, he wrote Codex on the flight of birds about his ideas. He designed flying machines, including one that looked like a helicopter. These designs showed his belief that humans could one day learn how to fly. Leonardo also studied the human body. He dissected human and animal bodies, creating detailed drawings of muscles, bones, and organs to learn more. His studies of anatomy helped doctors and scientists understand how the body works. These drawings are still admired today for their detail and accuracy. Leonardo also explored engineering. He made plans for bridges, water systems, and city designs. He even created devices for war, like an armored vehicle. His work showed how art and science could work together. He believed that studying science made him a better artist and gave him a deeper view of life. Leonardo's inventions and studies were not only practical, but also creative. They inspire people to think beyond their limits and imagine new possibilities. He was one of the first to see how science and art are connected, proving that curiosity and knowledge can lead to amazing discoveries. This chapter highlights Leonardo's genius as an inventor, scientist, and thinker who used creativity to change how we see the world. In his later years, Leonardo worked for powerful leaders across Europe. He spent time in Milan, Florence, Rome, and eventually moved to France. In 1516, he was invited by King Francis III of France to live at the Château du Clos-Lucé. The king admired Leonardo and gave him the title of royal painter. While living in France, Leonardo focused on science and engineering. He worked on plans for inventions and studied topics like mathematics and anatomy. He also continued painting, although he completed fewer works during this time. His health began to decline, but his passion for learning never faded. Leonardo died on May 2, 1519, at the age of 67. His assistant, Francesco Melzi, became the heir to his work and took care of his manuscripts. These manuscripts included his drawings and writings on many subjects, showing his lifelong curiosity and contributions to both art and science. Leonardo's influence on the world is still felt today. His work in art, science, and invention set the standard for creativity and brilliance in many fields. He inspired artists, scientists, and engineers to think beyond limits and combine ideas from different subjects. His legacy is a symbol of human potential. Leonardo da Vinci's name is remembered as one of the greatest minds in history. proving that curiosity and imagination can change the world.